What's up, everybody? Renee LaSalle. We are back at Miro Luxury Apartments for another Savannah Spotlight. Michelle Horne is with me, and we got a very special guest.
Hey y'all, I am so excited, you guys, to introduce you to Lynnetta Smith with Combat Boots to the Boardroom, because she is somebody that I absolutely love, and she is a dear friend of mine.
Hi y'all, I'm so excited to be here today. I've been waiting for this platform.
Well, we're so stoked to share the idea of Combat Boots to the Boardroom with our community. We were just discussing nearly 22,000 of our friends and neighbors are active duty military in our community. What that also means is, what about the families? I mean, that just multiplies rather when you talk about spouses, you talk about kids, and you, with this incredible program, are able to help everybody.
Yeah, that's when we started getting into the 30,000 plus range. Yeah. I'm so grateful to be able to be in that sector, from having an active duty retiree husband myself, but also me being a military spouse, also 20-year veteran myself on the federal side of the workforce sector, and then two beautiful daughters, 15 and 9 years old, coming all the way up in that rank structure with him and I traveling from base to base to base, but also being able to bloom where we're planted at right now and to put some roots down in our community right here in coastal Georgia.
Because there is a very real disconnect for the civilian population. We think, oh, it's not a big deal to leave the military and then just get a job. We don't understand that the conversation is different, the structure is different, literally the language is different.
Absolutely. I feel like too, it's a lot of parallelisms, but it's a lot of night and days, because too, what these war fighters have had to do, but also the military spouses, is really concentrate on the mission, which is a little bit different here. It's not a 9 to 5 type job, and it's really not a job at all. It's a lifestyle. It's a career. We become family when our families are so many miles away, and two, I think to me it is the patriotism that comes with it, and it's a love. It's got to be something. It's a heartstring type thing. I tell people that. So to be able to transition, but also to be able to serve just one day, that's an honor. That's a privilege to be able to protect the freedoms, and you will hear that echoed throughout the rank structures within at least these bases here, but many other bases around.
You've had the pleasure of being good buddies with Lynnetta. I mean, how is it an inspiration seeing what she is able to do, how she is able to help our military men and women?
It just, to me, to hear Lynnetta's story it brought me to tears. I went and took a tour of her office the other day, and it literally teared me up. I felt goosebumps all over to hear her story, and I'm gonna let her tell it in just a second, about the space that she started and everything that she went through to get that space, because I want her also to tell you about her 365, because we have Veterans Day, but you know what? Every single day is Veterans Day. And I'm gonna let her tell you about her story of how she got this space and how many people are invested, because every single person, I feel like, has a veteran in their family. There's so many people out there that have served, and you need that help. I have a cousin also who's has come home and who had that struggle of trying to adjust, because you go through so much over there that not many of us can understand. I know that I could not sleep at night after seeing what some of them have seen and come home and adjust to a regular life if you don't go and work for like Veterans Affairs, or just go into working at a normal job in corporate society.
No, and I thank you so much for that, and I love you so much. I think the world of you, and I always tried to make sure too, when we were building these names out, Combat Boots to the Boardroom, it is a mouthful, but it has purpose and meaning behind it, just like Veterans Day 365. Knowing that sometimes people think about us as certain holidays, but it was important for us to build our programs based off of, we are here 365 days. Your veterans are serving with you in your churches. They're walking alongside of you in your hospitals, also in your, I tell people, they're in your grocery stores, and alongside of you. The kids are playing with you on the soccer fields, on the different teams. But if you just look, we're here more than 4th of July. We're here more than Memorial Day. every day there is somebody that is connected to a service member. So that's why all of our adult programs are tied to Veterans Day 365. And it was important when we were building this, my husband and I, who is the actual veteran, that our children were going to be a part of this too, because we knew that this was going to be very time-consuming organization to build something from scratch that neither one of us, we had the background for. We both were college graduates. We both had served on installations, but to know that we wanted to show our children how to serve without receiving a check and serve the community that they were going to be planted in, because we knew that if we were able to give them something like that, they were going to be able to pass it down and our legacy was going to live on forever. And that's why the youth program is called Kids for Kids. So everything we do for the youth that they co-found is underneath that. So we have 2 programs, 5 initiatives, and 4 events every year. And we try not to go over the score. This year we were able to keep it lean and do 2 events. So it's either a 2-5-4 method or 2-5-2 method, depending on what the climate is within a year. Just keeping it very lean, and so we can be able to give it back to the organization, but also service our community.
So tell people what Combat Boots to the Boardroom is all about.
Well, it started because my husband struggled when he got out of the military, and I can tell you that now because the first 2 years I was not able to say that out loud. I had to wait for his permission to be able to say that, and I say that honorably. Because to be able to tell somebody else's story, you need to get their permission to be able to do it, so that way he was also strong enough to be able to say it. But we had thought we had it figured out when he got out. He had his master's degree, everything, and it hit him all of a sudden because he did not transition out where we end up living. We are planted here and around the Fort Stewart Hunter Army Airfield area, but he transitioned out of San Antonio, Texas. So all the resources that he received when he was in his 120-day transition period, none of that transition here. And sometimes I try to tell our leaders in the community, it's not a one-size-fits-all method. So, you know what I mean? So sometimes you have to look at that. Sometimes people transition here, but sometimes people move to this community because we have an amazing community too. And people hear all about our amazing school systems, our communities, our coastal waters. It's a great place to live. And so what about those veterans? And what about those families too? We got to make sure too, we're also telling that story for them as well. And when he transitioned to make sure that his mental health was great, because that's a huge part of Combat Boots to the Boardroom, he wrote his novel. He had wanted to write since he was in the 4th grade. And he didn't birth that novel out until he was 41 years old, but that helped him with his mental health, which was also part of PTSD, and that is our cause. That is our heavy cause. We have 2 causes in Combat Boots to the Boardroom: PTSD awareness as well as literacy for the children as well. So within that first year, writing that novel helped him so much, and then he actually saw something being birthed. Coming from scratch. So then too, he was like, you know what, he could see combat coming from scratch because he saw his novel come from scratch. And we also gave ourselves permission to make mistakes too. And I think we also let people in the community see us to do that. We didn't have everything figured out, but we were transparent, but it was also to encourage somebody else too. You do not have to have it figured all the way out. Have a heart to serve, and you will attract the people that you need too. But also, I tell people I'm a comptroller, budget officer by trade. Our behind the scenes was way better than in the front of the scenes. So I tell people, be legal, proper, documented. I was always, it was my LPD method, and I knew if we were nothing else, we were legal, proper, documented, and then our community would help us shape and mold the programs to fit this community, fit these veterans and these families what we needed.
And so, I love that you let them, sorry, I love that you show people that it's okay, you let them feel comfortable that it's okay to not have it figured out. Yeah. And that draws them to you.
Yeah, people will try to hold you hostage if you're not perfect. There is no such thing as perfection, and I think that's what holds a lot of our veterans back. They feel like they have to have it all figured out when they transition on day one. It's okay. And that's why our program that falls under Veterans Day 365 is called Prosper. And Prosper is to show them too, hey, wait a minute. We want everybody to prosper in life, and that looks different for everybody. So we tackled into workforce development, and within workforce development, one industry partner at a time. we started working with them to say, tell me some of the challenges that you're having when you're transitioning our veterans into your environments. Part of it was retention, part of it was recruitment, and we started shaping and molding our structure, our SOPs, how we recruited for them. And from one to the next to the next, now we are in 8 counties, covering almost 19 different industries and growing.
Yeah.
But it took a whole community to do that. And it's going to continue to take this community to do that. Some of the things we don't do anymore, and we gave ourselves permission to be able to not continue to do those because it didn't work for the climate that we were in. I love where we're at, but we know that we're constantly growing. So what we do is we take our veterans in a cohort, and that cohort is only for veterans because we have amazing training programs in our community, from the chamber programs, because I've participated in them and myself, as well as when you start going to the different region one, Leadership Southeast Georgia, and so on and so forth. But this cohort is a little bit different because the only way into this program is you have had to serve in the military. Wow. It is a veterans only, so you have to submit your DD-214, and that was by design because we wanted them to have a safe place to land. The person on the left of them, the person on the right of them, they need to know those people have been through what they have gone through or currently going through right now. And you should see them together. Once they get together, they're a little shy, nervous in the beginning. These are same people that were on the battlefield fighting guns, all the things here. And then they start to exchange like duty stations. Like, where were you at? Where were you at? And then we take them in, we have like a 15-passenger van. We were able to raise resources. We are a debt-free organization, and we lead on that very heavy. We raise the money first before we receive that, and we used to just carpool or rent to do things before, but we were very intentional about where every dollar goes to and being transparent to our donors. And now that we have our first 15-pack, they ride together, and we go from industry to industry, and then they go to see a behind the scenes too, a little bit different than just job shadow. I mean, to a job fair, but it's like a job shadowing, but they get to meet the leaders. They get to feel the culture. They see the environment, because our whole end goal is for them to find a safe landing place that they can stay, and they're not changing jobs, careers every 3 months. They can be impactful where they are, and they can lead from the front just like they did when they were in the military, because they have a lot of skills that transition over. And I think too, that is what we have been able to do, and we look forward to continue to do as we attract different partners in the community to help align us to be a place where we need to be able to continue to recruit.
Yeah, your heart for this is incredible. You radiate the desire to help. What do you need from us as a community? What do you need in terms of further partners?
We need to be able to make sure we're grateful for our big industry partners, but I love small business. I'm a huge fan of small business, and those I'm looking for also small business places where they will also value veterans, but not just veterans, because next year we are launching a 3-month cohort for military spouses.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to look directly and tell you all that I'm excited, because I've been a military spouse, and a lot of times people don't like to hire military spouses because they think, oh, they're not going to be here that long. But I promise you, they've been taking care of the house. They've been taking care of the kids. The warfighter they've had to do, they're gone. They are gone to training, they're gone, they've been balancing it, and we're gonna show them how to take their skills in the line that I'm really good with that, to make sure their resumes are tight on a different way than they've ever been done before. But they're looking for an opportunity to leave, because if you give them the opportunity, they might not leave. Yeah, because usually, I will tell you in my instance, my husband always promised me the last duty station would be mine. And it wasn't traditional, because we did have it on paper, but at the last minute, the military changed his orders from one duty station to the next, and so we didn't live in the same house for 4 years. Yeah. 3 of those years, I was in Quantico, Virginia, CID command, working at a headquarters, and also briefing at the Pentagon, defending the funding, and he was in San Antonio. And then on that last year, year 4, I moved forward here to be able to be the budget officer and comptroller at Wynn Army Community Hospital for 3 years, until my alphabet boys is what I call them, CID, can't call them back, at Hunter, and that's where I finished out before we I deferred my retirement to be able to do this organization until whatever God has for me next. But we need to I'm looking for strong leaders, for board members too, right? I need strong board members to come to continue to help us get into different spaces, military spouses, great volunteers, and if you know a veteran that's not quite sure where they want to be or what they want to do, those are my people.
Wow.
Yes, calling all veterans.
Calling all veterans. Okay, so how do we get in touch? How do we learn more?
Oh, absolutely. We tried to simplify our website because we do have a long name. So you can find us on www.cb2tb.com, or you can get us at info at cb2tb.com, or 404-465-1735, and we're on the IG platforms, Facebook platforms. We're on LinkedIn as well. You look for us and you can find us, but we're also headquartered out of Richmond Hill, and we have a building location there, 10140 Ford. I'm telling you, so that's a whole nother story, but I'm so grateful. But that's in Richmond Hill, in Ford Plaza there. So very grateful to come see us there as well.
I am so excited for your passion and what you are going to be able to continue to do in this community and watch it grow and making a difference for, yes, the military spouses, yes, the veterans, yes, the children, but the entire community as a whole, because like we've got 5 installations in our backyard, yes. 22,000 of our friends and neighbors are active duty, and that does not count the spouses, that does not count the children. So it is our community. It is a huge impact. Yes. It's incredible. Again, she is Lynnetta Smith. Her passion is combat boots to the boardroom. I'm Renee LaSalle. This is Michelle Horne. We love you. We'll see you next week.